Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sister Natasha, and today our group's topic of Zakat and Sedekah contains 4 separate contents. Firstly, we will learn the definition and meaning of Zakat and Sedekah explained by myself. Next, Sister Shaza will explain the few types of Zakat and Sedekah separately. Then Sister Jana will explain how Islam encourages the usage of Zakat and Sedekah to the community. And finally, Sister Faika will emphasize on the importance of Zakat and Sedekah. So let's begin with the meaning and definition of Zakat and Sedekah. So firstly, what is the meaning of Zakat? As we know, Zakat is the third pillar of Islam, which directly translate to terms such as to cleanse or to purify. In other words, Zakat is an obligatory donation of a certain portion of wealth to those who have the rights of receiving it. The act of Zakat plays a role of quote-unquote purifying one's wealth before being shared to those who need it. This does not only benefit the receivers by minimizing their burden, but also the ones who pay for it, as they receive multiples of their usual good deeds through Zakat. And Zakat may also act as a reminder that Muslims are meant to help other Muslims, especially those who are struggling much harder. Plus, the Zakat you pay may not be the same as Zakat as others paying, such as the ones you're paying may not be the same as a businessman would pay. They would pay another type of Zakat, thus the existence of various Zakat types. Zakat is wajib if and only if they are financially capable. Otherwise, they are exempted. They don't have to pay. And other than the financial condition includes being a Muslim, considering that Zakat plays a role of also personally bringing his followers closer to Allah. And those who receive Zakat, who have the rights of receiving Zakat, includes the poor and needy, or as in Bahasa Melayu we call it fakir miskin, those in slavery, and those who are following the path of Allah, or as we call mu'allaf. Now let's talk about Sedekah. Sedekah in general means giving something valuable to those who need it. Sedekah comes in different forms, including but not limited to money, time, consideration, and knowledge, so long that the act benefits someone or something in any way, it is already considered Sedekah. So in a way, Sedekah is much more inclusive of both Muslims and non-Muslims, as it mainly prioritizes the individual's true intentions, not the financial background. Sedekah, as mentioned, comes in different shapes and sizes. The act that benefits the people around you or the society can include helping somebody cross the road, or donating your small change to a homeless person, etc. This proves that unlike Zakat, Sedekah focuses on how genuine one's help or aid is to the others. So if someone does it out of prioritizing the image, say like celebrities, not a single pahala or good deed will be received. Allah does not see that you're doing this out of your heart, but instead to save your image, basically. As opposed to Zakat, which is wajib to those who are financially capable, Sedekah is actually sunnat, not wajib. While it means that the act may not be a must, it is actually highly encouraged, no matter how one does it, considering that you don't have to give your money, but you can give your time and your consideration. You can do whatever as long as it benefits someone. Anyone can Sedekah, depending on one's individuality. So now that we know the meanings of both Zakat and Sedekah, we can now see A bit of similarities and a bit of differences to it. In terms of differences, you can see that one can consider zakat as a system, while sedekah is more of a personal or voluntary charity.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shaza Sabiha binti Bujang. Today I will present to you about the distribution of sedekah that can be summarized into three categories. First one is compulsory sedekah. That is issuing a certain amount of property that has been obligatory and prescribed by the Shara, whether the rate has been determined, such as obligatory zakah, kafarah, or the rate is not determined, such as takaful ijtima'i. This category also includes various other things such as charity or infaq to oneself and family members, such as food, drink, clothing, and shelter. For the second one is circumcision sedekah is something that given with the purpose of getting closure to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, not because they want to get an appreciation. Islam does not limit or focus on obligatory sedekah only in achieving economic balance. Even Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala also recommends to his servant to give sedekah day and night, easy or hard, or in secret or overt. For the third one is illegal sedekah, which is mean giving a certain amount of property either from an illegal source such as gambling to a person or to parties that are not allowed by the Shara, such as to a tyrant or to a party who is believed to use property for things that are forbidden. As for zakah, there are two types of zakah, which is zakah fitrah and property zakah or wealth zakah. First, for zakah fitrah is obligatory on every able Muslim man and woman with the prescribed condition. Named zakah fitrah because it aims to purify the soul and body. The prescribed rate of fitrah is 1 kantang Baghdad is the state main food or equivalent to 2.5 kilogram or its equivalent in the month of Ramadan, which start on 1 Ramadan until 1 Shawwal before the Eid al-Fitr prayers. However, this rate may change based on the provision of the religious authorities of the state. For the second one is a property zakah. Includes zakah on gold and silver, zakah on business, zakah on livestock, zakah on agriculture, zakah on money, zakah on ma'adin, all minerals obtained from the earth belly, whether frozen or melt, on land or at sea. Kunuz, stored property in the earth or treasure, and rikas, which are property stored in the earth, and there are signs that indicate it was stored before the advent of Islam. Or Jumhur ulama thinks all types of ignorant savings. Zakah on shares, as well as zakah on income. Property zakah can be paid at any time, while the property zakah rate is 2.5% of the total property. Therefore, zakah must be paid when the conditions are met before 2.5% of the property is actually the right of eight asnaf who are eligible to receive zakah.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Jannah and I will explain on how Islam encourage Muslim to do zakat and to practice a lot more of alms or sedekah. So firstly, zakat is only applicable and obligatory for those who pass certain condition, namely the property sufficient minimum rate, or we call it as nisab. It means that for those who does not apply and that and does not suit the condition, they are not eligible to pay the zakat. Okay. Secondly, Allah give benefits for those right away for those people who do zakat, as Allah helps to purify their soul and elevate their iman when they do zakat. Also, by doing zakat and alms, it does strengthen our faith in Allah and the hereafter, as it thrives the human hearts to give alms. So when we have a strong faith in Allah, there will be no fear of men. There will be no fear of men, and there will be no appealing to the victorious. And there will also be no taking into account profit and loss of what we have in this world. Another way of Islam encouraging the Muslim to pay zakat and to do more alms is that zakat and alms will fertilize our property, as well as it become the savings or share for later in the hereafter. In regards to alms, which is basically when we do alms, we do it to help people. So when we help people, the goodness, the charity that we do, the rewards will be multiplied up to 700-fold. It is parable, which the charity that we do is like we are growing a plant. For those who fertile their plant very well, they can harvest their plant and get the fruit as much as they want. So for those who did not fertile their plant very well, they cannot get the result as much as they want. So it means that when we do charity, we do as much as we can, so that later in the hereafter we can collect the rewards as many as we can get. To give alms is highly encouraged in Islam, because when we give alms, it is one of the symbol of gratitude to Allah, as it also strengthens the brotherhood among Muslims. Those who believe in Allah, by giving alms, we are actually getting closer to Allah. We are also actually asking for the prayers from our Prophet, and also the angels will pray for those who donate his property in returns. It can be understood with when a person is encouraged to draw closer to Allah, he or she will always perform all of the acts of worship that are required. In addition, they will perform good acts as much as possible, which also includes to do zakat and to give alms. However, human beings will not free from committing sins, and the sins itself will makes us less benefit in the akhirat. So by doing and give alms, it is one of the methods for us to remove the mistakes in the past, as it is as much as we are finding a way to pleasure Allah, and to help ourselves to become a better person.
Giving sedekah and zakat are both ways that help you get closer to Allah SWT, and by practicing regular charity. There are 8 importance of zakat and sedekah. Firstly, strength, faith and get closer to Allah SWT. If we give sedekah to the sake of worship because of Allah SWT, surely increase our faith in Him. Allah loves His servant who give much because of Him, not the purpose to show off. Secondly, get the reward. In Surah An-Nisa, verse 114, Allah said that every good deed done sincerely will be rewarded by Allah SWT. This includes by giving sedekah and zakat to those in need. Next, increase sustenance and get blessing. Surely Allah will give the blessing of better sustenance for the good things we do. If it does not replace the same, it will replace with good health, happiness in the family, pleasure in work, and so on. Indeed, the sustenance of Allah is very wide and infinite. Besides, provides peace and happiness. As Muslim, we are often advised to do anything good for peace of mind and emotion, including by giving sedekah and zakat. In fact, by spending money on benefit to help others, it will definitely boost the hormones of happiness in our brain. Self-study has proven this truth. Furthermore, gives gratitude. Gratitude is when we thank Allah for anything we receive. Then by giving charity is one way. The giving sedekah and zakat is one way that we can thank of Allah for all bless and gifts. Okay, other than that, avoid from worldliness and materialistic attitude. The practice of giving sedekah and zakat will keep us from greedy of the property and the importance of the world. We will be willing and happy if when our property is given to others. Next, avoid arrogance. Why then don't feel to giving sedekah and zakat to others without them knowing it? God's right and then can be taken at any time. So so if we give charity, if we give sedekah and zakat, it will avoid us to be being part of arrogant. And last but not least is train positive and fair thinking. Often we see those who love to give a sedekah, to do NGO, those who have a fair attitude and do not dare to take the rights of others without the truth, like stealing. That is the benefit of sedekah. By doing NGO, we will remind us of the obligation in the social aspect by being fair to others who need help and those in distress. This will increase the sensitivity by doing giving the sedekah and zakat to increase our sensitivity, sympathy to the circumstance of people who needs something our intention. In conclusion, the best example of charity, zakat, sedekah is we can see our Prophet Muhammad. He often gives his food to the poor while he always hungry. The Prophet was very afraid that in his home there were only a few things of food that had not been divided, even his own clothes, from the rough and the cheapest. Abu Zar once told that one day when he walked with the Prophet Muhammad SAW, arriving in open field in Medina, which appears to be hill of Uhud, Rasulullah SAW said, "Verily the treasure of property is green and sweet. Who takes it with generosity, it will be blessed. Whoever takes it with greed, it will not be blessed. If it is not blessed, then he is like the one who eats but never satisfied. The hand above giving is better than hands under given." That is from Hadith Muslim.